Is this the real life or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Oh, are you guys watching something? I'm sorry.
We're just chilling.
No, we're just chilling.
What's up, guys?
We're killing.
Nice abs, Drace AI. Oh, indio007. That's cool. I like. What's his name? What's his name again? Pi. Oh, Pi May. That's it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, from Kilbo.
Fellas.
Good times.
Toady, I remember you vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember you too.
We had a dispute, didn't we?
Yeah, we do, but I still love everyone.
Not me. It's Pi May, not Pi Gay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Pi Gay. Pi Bye. Pi Bye. Oh.
So the quote of the day, Indio, is I don't care what causes the tides as long as it's gravity.
Oh, I don't even know what that means, but you know, what do you like? If something else caused it, so like, what does that matter?
It was talent.
I guess it would just be another word for gravity.
I think his ultimate point was, I have a model for tides, therefore you're wrong because you don't have a model for tides, and therefore the Earth isn't flat.
Oh, okay. They don't have a model for tides.
Yeah, we tried to explain that to him, and in the beginning he didn't even, he had his own idea of how the tides worked, and we had to show him the conventional globe idea before he would accept it. So it was a slow birth, and but in the end he kind of got there and kind of adopted the globe position, and then we could destroy it from there. And he left, but you know, it's the way it goes.
I was thinking about this. If it's not the moon making the tides, now if it's a globe and it's spinning at, over 1,000 miles an hour, it would be, what would happen if you were spinning a ball with water on it that was going 1,000 miles an hour? The way the water would just kind of, it would, I don't know, how do I say that? You'll be behind the spin, and that's the tides. That could be the tide. Oh my God, dude. Mind fellatio.
Well, but here's the problem. The problem is when they say the moon causes tides. That's the problem. It's well known that you can correlate the position of the moon with tide height. Okay, but that's a correlation. Correlation isn't causation. You can correlate lots of things, but it's also correlated with when they calculate when a tide happens. There's 20 variables. Any single one of them you could say is the cause of the tides. Any variable in the formula you could say is the cause. All you have is correlations, because tides aren't ubiquitous. They're not universal across the world, right? Some places have no tides. Some places have 3 tides a day. Some places have 2 tides a day. Some places, the tide is delayed relative to the moon's position by 5 hours. Some it's 6 hours. It also depends on what the local coastline is. There's so many other variables that determine tides and when they happen, how high they are. The moon is just one component.
Yeah, I have a real problem with the moon right now, just because I keep on looking up.
The sun is a component too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What if the thing that causes the tides causes the moon and the sun? What if they both share the same cause?
I would think the sun would cause more of the tide than the moon, but it is further away, I guess.
No, whatever causes the moon and the sun to exist also causes tides.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, there's some depth to that. My thing is, I don't see the backside of the moon. And how do we not? This is the one problem I'm having. I'm still a globe earther, but I'm not calling myself a globe earther. I just think it's a sphere, but I think it's a huge sphere. I think it's bigger than they're saying. But
So big it's flat.
it's so big it's flat. Yeah, almost that big. That's funny. I just can't believe we haven't seen the dark side of the moon, and we have the pictures they have are so fucking just so. They should never have even put them out because they're just so lame.
Garbage.
Yeah, they're so garbage.
Yeah, since the 90s, I've been so into space and all this garbage. So I've been looking at their NASA stuff since the 90s and like backwards from then. So like I've watched it develop, and it basically develops a step behind the Hollywood technology. And once the Hollywood technology got really good, they started like pushing it back and making it more shit to be like, well, like this is what it looks like in space. There's like this solar radiation and all this cosmic radiation that's like making recording difficult and problems. But now we're getting like SpaceX, no problems.
Except for like they blow up all the time. I mean, you can't even have the Tesla drive you down the street safely.
Yeah, I'm just talking optically. Like you see their supposed pictures of their capsules. Like who's taking that picture from that space, from a distance?
Yeah. Did you see that new Indian one?
That. But they're like but they're like perfect quality. There's no corruptions to the sensor due to the cosmic radiation hitting the sensor. No, there's no problems.
This is my problem with the moon landing. Like I was totally on board. Like back in the day when I first came in here, like 6-7 years ago, I was just like going along with it. But I've been thinking about like, dude. Okay, so if you the video of what it took for the Saturn rocket to leave the ground, like all that power and pressure, like just all that fucking just pressure and fucking energy, and then there's nothing. Okay. So if the moon is 6 times, like gravity is 6 times less, it seems like it would be that Saturn rocket going up 6 times, less than that. There'd still be a whole shit ton of like power coming out of it. There's nothing. It's just like boop, and it goes straight up, and it kind of shimmies when it's going up. It's like it's on like a wire, and it's kind of just going back and forth for a little bit.
That's right. It's like it's on a wire. It's like they said, "Okay, go up," and they hit the crane because the thing about the lunar quote unquote launch is that it doesn't accelerate. It just starts going one speed instantaneously, just like it's on a cable, and they just pulled it up.
Yeah, and like he was just saying, it's like it looks fake.
Have you seen the interview with Bart Chabrel when he's talking to that astronaut, where he goes through the video clips of Werner von Braun saying that they would need 3 Saturn rockets to get to the moon because you would need 2 Saturn rockets just to carry the fuel to refuel the first rocket to get to the moon, because they use all the fuel to get to orbit.
Makes sense.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
You see the image I posted in the side chat? I took a screenshot of one of Elon's tweets. He was retweeting SpaceX. Do you see that?
Sorry, yeah, I see. Sorry, I was trying to get back. I'm on the phone, so yeah.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, so who took that picture, man? Because if you notice, there's
shit,
no
right?
arms attached to that fucking thing.
Yeah. It's the same with that initial who was taking. Okay, so if there's that much of delay from the moon to the Earth, how the hell is someone guiding that camera to show that little capsule going up with such precision? It's just perfect.
Who went back and got the video, or was that digital also?
Yeah, look how exactly like how you're right, dude. Like how the see. So I'm like, I'm not with you guys, but I'm with you guys. Okay, I think the whole moon thing's bullshit. I think we're a globe. I think we're a sphere, but I think there are definitely hidden spots on this Earth that they are not telling us about, for sure. They don't want us to know about it, whether it's in I think a lot of it's under the ocean and under the ground. I think we got a lot of fucking shit going underneath us.
I'll put it to you this way: the world wants to be deceived, and so the people in charge say, "Let it be deceived." If you didn't want to be deceived, if you didn't want to be lied to, then you would do something about it.
Yeah. And plus, all these billionaires are like building underground bunkers and stuff. It's like, what the fuck? They're trying to get off this planet. They're pretending that they want to get off this planet.
Yeah, they say openly they want to get off the planet, but they keep building underground bunkers and saying, I don't want to go to outer space.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some, like, everything's connected too. It's crazy. Like, the Walmarts seem to be like a lot of them, at least the northern ones seem to be connected underground. A lot of them. And then there was what was it? There's something else. There was god damn, there's a jeweler. What the fuck's it called? There's a jewelry company that has bought a shit ton of land all over the country, and they're starting to think that there's tunnels underneath there too, but they're huge though. And they'll buy like a big plot of land, and then they'll put like one little like building on there, and then people are saying that there's like tunnels going underneath there. I don't know. It's interesting though. I mean, I'm definitely getting interested. I'm definitely more open to things than I was before. I mean, I've always been open to it, but I've always thought the moon was a little crazy. But
you're almost there, man.
But now it's like, well, I'm there to where I want to be there.
If there was one deception that could be gotten away with, it would be hiding flat Earth, because the Earth is too big to see the curve, so you know it's flat.
I think the thing that we're missing is I think it's a globe. It's just if there's shit going on underneath the water, like there are fucking bases underneath the ocean.
Is it heliocentric?
There's crazy shit going on. It's heliocentric. Yeah. I mean, from what I'm.
It can't be then, man. Then all the orbits are wrong.
No, I mean, I'm talking about just being on Earth. Like whatever's going on up there, I don't know. From the skyline up, there's definitely
the difference
up there
between heliocentric and geocentric?
Yeah, like one's we're the center, and the other one's the sun's the center.
Right. So how could we be going around the sun? They tell in order. Like here, I'm going to show you the cosmic ladder.
No, we definitely.
So if the Earth is not the size that they say it is, everything above it is wrong. If you look at what I'm showing you right now in the chat, you got the Earth, that's a specific size. Then you have baseline parallax, stellar parallax. Like everything climbs from there. But if the Earth's not a ball, all of it's wrong.
Yep, the whole cosmic ladder breaks. And the thing I posted above it is lifeboat.com. And that's the Lifeboat Foundation, who claim they're building underground cities hidden all over the world. And you can apparently join them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, well, just so you guys know, I do have a plot of land on the moon in case anyone is worried. I will hook you guys up. I know you guys. Just give me your address and stuff, or give me your information, and if the shit hits the fan, we can go up to the moon. I got I think an acre. I think. So you guys are cool. I'll let you guys live up there with me.
Yeah, we don't know or think that the moon is terra firma.
Yeah. Well, I was just joking. I mean, I do have someone gave me as a birthday present a plot of land up there, but I was just joking.
That is pretty funny though.
Did you get insurance in case it gets hit by an asteroid?
Dude, you know what? They should have insurance for that. That's funny as fuck. They probably do.
I mean, you can pay me. I'll give you insurance.
Yeah.
Or you can pay Brian Sweet. He'll be your insurance. He'll bankroll you.
Just catch me if I fall, okay? Because it's going to be a long fall. That's like 250,000 miles. That's a long fall.
Claim denied.
Yeah, I'm really not sure that we were able to make it through the Van Allen belts. I think I think that robots can. I think that we can shoot up rockets and stuff through there, but I don't think humans can go through it. It's just.
Do you know who James Van Allen was?
He was the guy that was talking. He likes belts. I know that.
No. He was a eugenicist, and he was into genetics during and before World War II.
He was trying to thin the herd out.
Not thin the herd out, but like beautify it and make it more. Basically, he's trying to get rid of the ugly ones.
Do you know how hot the Van Allen belts get?
You know what? How hot Van Allen is? What?
They range from 3,500 degrees to 35,000 degrees, and they're 36,000 miles long. Wide.
Yeah, and if you're going 17,000 miles an hour through it, that's going to bring some friction too. Well, it's a vacuum, so I guess there wouldn't be a.
Yeah, that whole range.
Well, it's not actually absolute vacuum, so there's always going to be some friction.
Yeah, yep. Particles.
And the faster you go, the worse it is.
They say that 3% of the asteroids that are out there are the only ones that we've seen. Like the rest we miss because the sun isn't hitting it, or I'm just like, how do you even know that? Like, if you can't see it, how are you even gauging that there's only 3% we're seeing?
Welcome to cosmology, where they can be off by 10 to the 120th. That's a 1 with 120 zeros behind it.
So what do you think about those craters that are on the Earth? Like, there's some huge craters. You think those are just like back in the day, like some the test sites, maybe, like where they
on the moon
tested a big bomb, maybe,
or waters,
on the moon,
old geysers. You never see any of those meteor holes.
Yeah, or for instance, like in Siberia, not the classic one people talk about. They thought they found a new meteorite impact, and it turned out to just be an explosion due to natural gas buildup.
Yeah, remember that city or that town that at night, I guess, like there's some eruption underground of really thick gas that just, like clings to the, it's just really thick, so it doesn't dissipate upwards, and it just suffocated the whole fucking town silently. Just everyone just died, and just kind of like a cloud, it just went right through.
Yeah, it does dissipate upwards. However, it's kind of like with volcanoes. Oftentimes spew out gases that are heavier than the air, and so they stratify as they diffuse. And so as they're stratifying, they fill up the valleys and stuff like that, and people can die to that. So in Iceland, we're very conscious of that due to all the volcanoes. So we check the topography, how the gas would fill the valley, just like a fluid would. But over time, because gas is moves in random directions in all directions, it's just the density difference between the gases that makes the diffusion slow. And so it takes time for it to diffuse up in and disappear. It will disappear. It's not like it's going to stratify and fill a valley and make it like
yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, Tony. You mentioned something about the craters. This thing you're talking about on Earth. What do you think about the craters on the moon?
Well, I mean, like,
you notice anything about them?
I noticed that it just okay. So there are a lot of craters that are like right in the way of the I don't know. They seem like they're just so sporadic everywhere. It seems like there'd be a spot that was
Well,
just bare. You know, like
they're
because
perfect
Earth
circles.
is in the way. You know.
They're perfect circles, so they would have taken a 90-degree impact from wherever they are, but they all look like it's on a flat surface, right?
Yeah,
Number
they're
one.
all perfect circles, which is weird. And Neil deGrasse Tyson describes that as the caused by magic speed. Magic speed makes meteors, when they hit the spherical surface at oblique angles, just embed themselves in perfect circles, not actually bounce off the surface.
Well, it seems like they would go inside and pop out another side if they're going that fast. Like if it's just all like a rock, it seems like it would just break it and go like maybe like down a little bit and then pop out, or there'd be a bump. I don't know, but you're right.
It's worse than that.
Didn't Flat Earth asshole do something like that with an orange? I remember watching one of his shows where he did that. Like he shot it with a BB or something. He's like he was doing that at an angle and stuff. I remember that back in the
I
day.
never saw that, but I'll say it's worse than that, Tony. Those craters are facing towards you, which means the meteors would have had to go through Earth in order to hit.
Exactly what I was saying. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like there seems like there should be like a blank spot the size of the Earth, not the size of the Earth, but well, yeah, no, there should be everything facing us should be no craters because they would hit the Earth, or
Yep.
or maybe the Earth gravity made it arc in, but it seems like it would take longer than like 250,000 miles. Like it would that wouldn't be just like a curve. So yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that's kind of weird. Yeah. There's a lot of things about the moon that I don't like.
Yeah, but how do we even know it's 250,000 miles away?
Well, I mean, like I've never done the laser things, but I mean, it seems like it's right. But now, like I said, I don't know. I can't really be certain what's going on with the moon. Like I've definitely drifted away from knowing exactly what's happening with the moon. I mean, I know like the solar eclipse that the way that it hits us is peculiar. You know, it makes I don't know if it even makes sense. The way that it converges and then diverges at the end and then hits. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, the eclipses are certainly weird. The shadows from the solar eclipse are really weird. Another weird aspect is you can use Eratosthenes' sticks and shadows using lunar light and get the same results.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. It seems like it would be. Yeah, it would seem like it would be a little. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
It's just weird. Like
I smell what you're cooking.
It shouldn't be the same. If it's like they say, and there's millions of miles of difference between the two.
Right. So my other theory is, or my other hypothesis is that we have been to the moon, and it's in the Van Allen belts, and there is a base up there, and we have already occupied it. That's the two things I think it could be.
I think it's more reasonable. We know they're building underground bases left and right, and I think it's more reasonable if you're a magician or if you understand these principles, that when you're doing something, you always use sleight of hand. Look over here, look up. Oh, we're doing so much stuff in the air. Oh, we're exploring the universe. Everything they're telling you is garbage. Meanwhile, what they're doing has nothing to do with that. They're not building bases on any globes in the sky. The elites are not living in luxury on those luxury space resorts. No. They have underground bases. Why?
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm definitely down with that, and I'm down with that. There's a bunch of billionaires that have submarine licenses, like they can drive submarines. Like that's I guess if I was a billionaire, I'd have every license you could have. You know, I'd fly, I'd do everything. But a lot of them have submarine, like they have their own submarines. They're licensed to drive them, which is crazy.
But you see none of them going to outer space.
Yeah, I see that. Yes, that makes sense. That's why I said, like, there's either two things going on here. We can't get up there, or we're up there. And because if, like, seriously, if we're up there, if we made it up there, America is not one to just, okay, we made it there. Okay, let's leave. No, we plant flags. We dig holes. We plant ourselves in there. We're like a tick. We're going in, you know?
Yeah, you
And we
tell
just
me
go,
there
oh, yeah,
wouldn't
we're
be a
leaving
base
now.
on the moon that would have strategic advantage over the entire
Yeah.
Earth. You could launch things 24/7,
Yeah.
like onto the Earth, and they couldn't retaliate. That's amazing.
Well, maybe the craters are fucking actual, like, where rockets could come out of, you know? Maybe that's where they launch out of. No, I'm really more into the digging down in the ground thing. Like, that makes more logical sense. That we have shit going on underneath us that's fucking, we have no clue.
I get you. You want to explore every possibility and be open to every option. Maybe there could be something we don't know. However, we also, like you say, we see a lot of evidence of them going into the ground, and then we don't get any information about what actually is in the ground. We're just told, like, oh, it's the mantle. There's nothing down there. There's nothing to look at. Just look at the sky. There might be aliens.
That's
on
a
these
good thing. You know what?
balls.
The
And
way
so
you guys
they
have said
want you
that.
looking in the opposite direction while they're
See,
meddling down there.
Yeah, that makes sense because
Speaking of down there, do you know about this, for instance, in side chat? And this is proven to be down there. It's really nasty stuff too. And I'm not joking when yeah.
I'm going to read it. I can't read it and talk to you guys at the same time. So for some reason, I can't press the button and read it. Like, doesn't let me. So yeah, give me a minute. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Then I'm going to hit you with this one that summarizes the whole thing. I think there's a book written called Adam and Eve, Genesis. It was like a Farmer's Almanac, but it discussed ancient cataclysm cycles and stuff. How it got released way too late. And somebody has already figured out all the science that makes it true. So this nasty stuff is from another galaxy. It's a dwarf galaxy that slammed into ours. A lot of iron, heavy gravity, fiery inferno, no life. Just dragging things down. Tends to flatten reality too.
Yeah, this isn't like fantasy land.
This is all science. That's why I gave you links to it, right? The European Space Agency. So I said I wasn't playing a game here. I know it's hard to believe, but there you go.
This is theoretical. This is not.
It isn't.
It is.
It has different isotopes, this iron, and it touches the surface, so they're able to actually get samples and measure it against Earth's local iron. Yeah, different isotopes, man. Would you like a link to that? It comes from a way older galaxy that I mentioned. That's right
you
there.
You believe it comes from a way older galaxy.
Can you prove that this isn't the case?
I don't need to prove a negative, dumbass.
This isn't a negative. There's science for this.
Yes, if you say prove it isn't the case, that's asking me to prove a negative.
All right, so you have no answer to this. This is fine.
I have an answer. You have
a
belief. I have an answer. You have a belief. Yeah. You have yet to show actual supporting evidence.
Well, this explains your concept. Yeah, actually, this is how I know. Like, yeah, when you mention flat Earth, I know exactly how.
Shut up, dude.
Well, it is interesting.
He just Newton.
Oh yeah, that was real interesting. His freaking social commentary, super interesting.
Well, I think it still doesn't change the fact that there's definitely like they're building stuff underneath the ground. It's not going to take that away. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's not.
We're going to go back to how he knows they came from another galaxy.
Oh well.
How do you know they came from another?
I'm not going to play tag with you, bro.
How does anybody know they came from another galaxy?
Well, you would claim they don't exist. Galaxies?
I'm asking you for the evidence.
Because the isotope signature is older.
How does that tell you it's where it came from?
Because our galaxy is a certain age.
Okay. How does that tell you where it came from? Does it give you a direction?
I see what you're saying.
It actually does when it slams into
it gives
Earth.
you a direction? Okay, so which direction does isotope blah, blah, blah come from?
So something
North,
that would
south,
look
up, down, left, right?
Yeah, I have answers. There's no reason to get crazy. It's modeled by the ESA right there. The
modeled.
Yeah, the thing you don't have.
Models are
because your reality's flat.
We have, well, reality is flat Earth, but models. So do you think there's a globe model, Newt?
No, I believe, when people have a flattened reality, it's
is there a globe model, Newt?
It's a spheroid, bro.
Yeah, okay, so show us this globe model.
I just did, but you're gonna play games with me, and I'm not here for that.
I'm gonna point out your ignorance.
I provided the science. You're just ignoring it.
No, you haven't mentioned any science. You wouldn't know science if it bit your ass, bro. So show us this globe model. Is it gonna be Google Earth? What is it gonna be? What is that? What is that? What the fuck is that, bro?
I'll go get my pizza out of the oven. Flat.
Where's the globe model that you were supposed to post?
Well, I watched that video, and it was the most retarded shit ever. It showed the Milky Way galaxy, quote unquote, spinning.
That's a fucking cartoon.
I know. While this other galaxy, came in, went down, under, swirled back up, came back down, went through the galaxy again, and then it did like some Aladdin genie thing when the genie comes out of the lamp. You can't prove any of that happened, dude.
Dude, the people that wrote that shit can't prove any of that happened. And they would admit that they can't prove it happened.
Still interesting, though. I mean, you got to be real. Like, it's still interesting.
Well, why not just tell a different story? That story would be interesting too.
Well, I mean,
so Tony, how do we differentiate really going on? One explanation and the other? Which one is true?
I guess you just have to
guess.
Logically look at science and see.
Logically look at science. How many? Can you fit more buzzwords into that sentence?
I guess logically, yeah, I probably could if I was thinking properly.
Logically look at science. That's fucking a nonsense. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you're probably, well, it is what it is. It does. Well, if you think the Earth is a globe, if you think the Earth is a globe, and then you know, and then we're all just masses of, well, you don't have to. It's just
why should I?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's just
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, like, your imagination can go. I mean, like in
I'm not using my
imagination. Sure has
truth though.
So
okay,
no models.
Newt's back. Newt's back. Where's the gold model? Where's the gold model? You said Flat Earth don't have a model. Then you must have one. So let's see it.
Google Earth.
Google Earth's the cylinder. Nice try. Try again. Yeah, it displays as a ball, but the mathematics of Google Earth is a cylinder. It uses the Webb-Mercator GL. Yeah, it's a cylinder. So, can we get that gold model?
So it's curved to it. All right. So there is a sender to it. There is a hollow Earth.
This is what you don't understand. The whole coordinate system that we use is based upon the sky. It's not based upon the Earth. You can't find your latitude and longitude without looking in the sky. That means there's no ground reference from which even to find your location. You have to look at the sky to have a location in the latitude and longitude coordinate system. So when I ask him to show the globe model? I already know he don't have one.
I almost forgot about the astrolabe, dude.
Well, 69 degrees is, or 69 miles is 1 degree, right?
Okay, no.
And who came up with that math? Great
Just-
hell.
Who came up with that measurement?
There's 360 degrees in a sphere. That would make sense, right?
Yeah. These units of measure, they always relate to things.
You didn't.
beyond-
You didn't even mention a unit
like
of measure.
cubits, for instance, that the Egyptians created, very different.
Yeah,
than
you're
a
not
meter
going to
and a
monologue
mile.
Newton and ignore what is said to you. Okay,
For
that
good
ain't going to
reason.
fucking happen. So, what units of measure was 69? What instrument measured the 69?
Travis, that's a condensation of information. When you ignore it, that tells me about you, not it.
What are you fucking talking about? I think this motherfucker's got me muted. So, he stays on mute until you unmute.
Sounds like, hey, Newt, you need to unmute India.
No, we don't. He can leave. We ain't playing no games. If any real people want to talk, what's up, Brian? I love your new account. What are you up to? 9? You on count 9, Brian?
It's 8, man. It's only 8.
8. Oh, frick. Well, I'm predicting the future.
Might happen. No, I'm trying to be a good guy here, man.
Not here, but on freaking X.
Always on X.
Dude, you wear that shit like a badge of honor, man. Stick your chest out. Like, I got freaking kicked off of X 9 times from butthurt globies.
It's ridiculous. I can't believe how sad they get.
Who got you banned last?
Craig McNeil, FTFE. I mean, I said he ate his own sperm. I mean, he does. He admitted. Then he reported me. Babies.
Truth hurts.
I mean. But how come the lunar stuff, the tides don't work with the frickin' fresh water, man? What's up with that? Doesn't affect the lakes, my bathtub, or the pool. Nothing.
Honestly, like I think it could have something to do with the sun and the moon, maybe something else that we're not able to account for. But the reason why I think it happens in the salt water instead of the fresh water is that salinity. Is like most people don't know this, but salt is actually a metal. Like sodium, natrium, it's a metal. And sodium is polarized. There's a saying in biology: wherever salt goes, water follows.
Man, read this retard in the chat. What is the technology flat earthers have developed based upon their accurate model? Bro, you are a Dunning-Kruger moron.
Airplanes.
About the fucking
all
wheel.
You need to do is see the pronouns, and that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Flat earthers invented the wheel. Beat that.
And sliced bread.
And Dunning-Kruger frickin' trolls that think models are reality.
I can build a model of a flat Earth and it can hold water. They can't do it with theirs.
No shit, right? You can actually build a physical one.
Yeah, with real water too. It's too cheap to make. Just a piece of foam, a board of foam, and you carve topography on its surface, and you pour water on that ocean floor that you will carve there. Ask them to do that on a ball.
Foolishness in this freaking text chat. Like these people, I don't understand where they come from, man. I really don't. Like, they're the epitome of the pseudo-intellectual. Like, if you look up pseudo-intellectual in the dictionary, this dude Fennec is gonna show up. 100%. He doesn't understand what a model is. He doesn't understand what they do. He doesn't understand anything about how technology works. How it's developed. Anything. And he's coming in here asking us about technologies. He doesn't know anything about it. No answer we can give he's even going to understand.
And I was seeing this dude come in here and do a live debate, man. It says he'll crush you.
That dude's all talk, man. Just a troll. Average internet troll. He won't unmute in here. He's a coward.
Hide behind that microphone. That's what I hear all the time. You're always hiding behind that microphone, Brian.
Yeah, dude. Remember they said that to you? He's hiding behind the mic. How do you hide behind the microphone? It's like an open. It's going to be like an open. It's an open space, man. Anybody can talk. Dude, is the Globe ever gave a new co-host?
I mean, they don't really hold spaces, but Peter tried out. I didn't want to take code. I didn't want to be. I can't stand Peter.
Yeah, he's such a fuck. Makes me sick.
Yo, how's everyone doing?
Good, man. I was just talking about effeminate people. I was just about to say, man, how come so many Gobras are effeminate? And then you started talking. No, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. No, you're not effeminate, bro. You're not effeminate. You're definitely not. When I think of feminine, I don't think of you. You're disagreeable. You ain't no bitch.
That I am. I'll agree to that.
You make me look bad.
So where are we on wraparound?
Are we on wraparound? Dude, like wraparound? Pac-Man Earth? Hell no.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's either that or Globe Boys.
No, you wish. Be fucking 4-dimensional, for all you know.
That's what wraparound is, basically. Appealing to, mathematics and dimensionality, and
maybe like here's my hypothesis, that the way we think about the world from this external viewpoint of wraparound Earth, the only reason you think you need a wraparound Earth is because you're imagining the Earth from a third-person point of view. Maybe reality isn't a third-person point of view. Maybe everything is a first-person point of view. reality can only be interacted with from a first-person perspective. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Where our first-person perspectives meet, that's the orthographic view. This solves a bunch of problems, namely like the tree falls in the woods with no one there to hear it, doesn't make a noise. No, it don't, because it doesn't. That's a meaningless statement. Because without a human or without a sentient being, things can't exist. Existence entails there's a sentient human being. That's not to say there is not an objective reality. I'm not saying everything is subjective.
I disagree with you, man.
I don't know, man.
It definitely makes a sound if it falls in the forest.
I never see deer or animals under these trees, so they're making sounds. Anyway, man. So,
if a tree falls in the woods with no one there to hear it, does the deer run away from the tree fall?
had to have. Otherwise, it would run from us. It's all due to gravity anyway.
Of course, everything is. Did you know that gravity makes the Earth look flat? Have you heard this, Brian?
Of course it does. You know, they say gravity is the one of the four fundamental forces, but they don't even know what it is. And then they call it the weakest of the four, the most easiest to overcome. And then they make it do all the heavy lifting.
The weakness is the argument that it exists. That's why it's the weakest force. It's the weakest argument. No, so I'm going to tell you why the gravity in the globe paradigm officially makes the Earth look flat. So you have gravity, right? Gravity formed the Earth into a ball. And then that gravity formed a density gradient of air. And when light passes through this density gradient of air, gravity that made the density gradient makes that ball look flat. Yeah, so gravity makes the Earth look flat, according to globetards.
Refravity.
Ain't that fucking crazy, dude? Gravity made a flat-looking ball. It's just nature, man. Can't argue with fucking Mother Nature.
Yeah, that's what they tell us. However, when it comes to refraction, refraction is not dominated by pressure differences, but by temperature differences.
That's right.
So they're screwed.
Yeah.
It also works in the opposite direction. So the pressure differences would cause light to bend down. They're correct in that statement. However, as light would travel on the globe, it would travel straight and then move into areas of less and less density, and that would cause it to equal out a little bit, but it would never reach back down towards the ground. They don't have the mechanism for that. That's just considering the pressure, which is what they do. They don't consider the temperature when they're doing this. They just consider the pressure and consider a uniform gradient. That's the problem. We actually live in an inhomogeneous anisotropic medium. And so there's differences in temperature, there's differences in pressure. And so temperatures dominate the refractive gradient. And so you have pressure working against the temperature. And so when the temperature isn't enough to overcome the pressure, you have equalized the refraction, and so it's no longer refracting. And then they call that ducting, and they believe that the light is going around the globe, just bending up and down and going around the globe. But that just doesn't work. Mechanically, that doesn't work. It's just an ad hoc excuse after the fact, when it's actually an equalization between the two, and you can show that using infrared and different wavelengths. If a wavelength refracts more, you should be able to see further if the globers are true, because the light is refracting more, and so you should be able to see further around the globe. If the wavelength refracts less, like infrared light, you should not see as far. It shouldn't bend around the globe. You should see the geometric horizon move closer in infrared. However, that's not what we see. We see the horizon appear to extend out in infrared because we can see past the extinction, and there's less refraction, so there's less loss of the bottom rays coming off of objects, causing bottom-up disappearance. And so there's multiple factors, and when they try to affirm the globe, it's because they have a preconceived idea that the Earth is a globe. They were raised in that culture, the tradition that the Earth is a globe, and so they believe it's a globe. And so when they see something and that doesn't match their preconceived ideas, they're like, oh, well, it must be the air bending. And so they test the air, and then the air's not bending enough, and so like it doesn't work. And so there must be the plumb lines are bending, but they don't actually measure the plumb lines bending at all. It just must be because the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, it's got to be a globe. That's why when the Earth looks flat, that's a globe proof. Everything you see is a globe proof, no matter what it is, even if it says it's not a globe.
Yeah. If the Earth is, if the water looks flat over here and we see too far over there, it's the gravity. Like the gravity underneath it is making the water look flat on that spot, but then you move to a different spot. Oh, well, it just look flat on that spot. They keep extending it, just
the
like
gravity
just
is
like with
curbing the water and curbing the air, but it's curbing the air in a way that makes the water look flat. The water that's under it, that's also curving. It's fucking so stupid.
Yeah, and it's only curving the air to make the water look flat. If you look at the density alone, just the pressure, not the temperature. Like, and so that's and it's mainly because the preconceived idea that the Earth is a globe, and so when you shoot the laser out straight, the Earth is supposed to be falling away from it, and so it carries that curved imagined air around with it, and so the laser beam is always traveling up into those lesser densities as a consequence. That's why it's stacked on assumption on assumption on assumption on assumption, and that's why it has to be a globe.
Yo, so I was talking about the Earth being flat in that main politics channel, and they levied an accusation against you guys. They said you guys are too scared to go into the politics channel. They asked me, how come we never see the guys down here, like up
Will
there?
they talk about this
I
topic
don't know,
in
they're
there?
their own people. Huh?
Will they talk about this topic in there?
Yeah,
we're gonna get
sometimes we
booted.
talk about flat Earth. I defend it from time to time, like maybe like once every 2 visits or so.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. If they want us
I didn't know we were welcome.
Yeah, we're
James
willing to
squatting
go
dog-
and talk to them
squatting
if they want us
dog.
up there.
He's saying that you guys are scared.
They're welcome to come down here and be like, bros, you want to come up and talk to us about flat Earth? We're willing to listen. We'd love the opportunity.
I'm not gonna go up there and get abused and just have them play the mute game. I'm not gonna do that.
We're not gonna force our views upon them. If they want to hear our perspective, we're willing to share it, but we're not forcing it upon them.
Also, they're going to take it away from empiricism, and it's going to become, why would they lie? And we're going to be talking about fucking what people think, how they feel, what they would do, what they wouldn't do, what governments do, how the Soviets was against the United States, and there was a Cold War. Like, it's going to devolve into just bullshit. Just opinions about what people do or what they didn't do or what governments do or what governments didn't do and why they would do it and what their motivations are. It's just all speculation. Why would we do that?
Yeah, my experience, like
Do you know why people do that? Why do you think people do go to that argument?
Because they have no other evidence.
Bingo. And it's the only thing they know is midwits, and because they're midwits and all they know is fucking gossip. Look, Sally slept with fucking Billy. Blah, 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 blah. It's a bitch level, dude.
I don't believe it. He would never do that.
No, he definitely didn't do it. Why would he lie?
Yeah.
You don't know why he lied. He didn't do it.
Yeah, that's how they act.
Top level fucking retards, these guys. You have to give it to them. Like, it must take some frickin' hard work to be that dumb.
Well, the smart ones don't come in here, open their mouths without understanding what the room is about. The smart ones come in, listen, and are like, "Oh shit," or they're like listening on YouTube and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, exit
So
stage right. The smart
yeah,
ones leave.
yeah, and so we end up like filtering out a bunch of the smarter ones who are like, I don't want to hassle with this. This seems like beyond my pay grade. And we end up left with all these dumbasses who don't know anything, and they're just like, I know everything because I don't know anything.
Man, that's what Prince Krause says, man. Once you understand nothing, you understand everything.
Yeah, so like we get a lot of in here. I mean, the bold ones, right? They're the ones that like they'll come in and they say they're an aerospace engineer, and then 10 minutes later confess that they're taking aerospace engineering, but they're not actually taking any of the courses yet, but they're going to be as soon as they stop being a sophomore at university and take the upper level classes the next year. Like, that's the crap we get. But they think we're so stupid that we can't tell the difference. It's so just the bigotry, the bias of how people think about flat earthers is it is a frick something to behold. It really is. I mean, there's prejudice, right? Thinking all black people are dumb, thinking all, pick a race, thinking they have some characteristic. Any group of people, all the jocks are dumb. All the freaking geek nerds are weak. You know what I mean? You could pick anything.
Yeah, stereotypes.
But you will get a variation in, bias, where, some people won't be biased, but there will be the bias. The bias is pretty much ubiquitous. I'd say maybe 1 out of 1,000 people come in here with no bias, with no preconceived notions about flat Earth, with no preconceived notions about flat earthers. Like, would that come here with a blank slate?
Yeah, it's very rare. Almost all of them come in with the pizza in space idea, and that we hold this belief. Yeah, we hold this belief either for some religious reason or just because we're crazy.
Or we want to feel special.
Yeah.
You guys just want to feel special. There's
Man,
lots of ways to feel special, dude.
You don't want to come from a gay monkey fish frog? Come on, man. That's awesome.
Cave monkey fish frog. So
Man,
talk about my family.
Right. I didn't even know this thing was a topic like 3 years ago. What? You mean Earth is flat? Space is what? Fake? No. What?
Oh, I get you so hard. It's been over 10 years for me, bro.
So I was that guy, man. I didn't get all. That's what I say, man. These fucking people get mad. What are you so mad about? Because I don't agree with the science that can't prove anything? It's a bold stance to take there. I mean, come on.
We had someone quit the other server. I said, you do know that science doesn't prove anything. He's just like, what? Do you hear what you're saying? I can't take it. That's it. And then he left the server. The whole idea that science, he's obviously probably a high school or something by the way he was talking before that. But I'm just saying is these guys are so brainwashed that when they think science is it's like the golden cow, right? You cannot say anything against the golden cow.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's why it's so much better to talk to a little bit educated people, because they at least understand, because they've been further in the education, that they don't teach it early. They teach it later that, like, oh, yeah, we don't understand this. This is our best guess. This is our best theory, but we can't actually test the cause. So, like, we have different theories, but this is the most popular one. once you talk to people who have gone through education, you get a little bit of a different response, especially if it's in their field. If it's in their field, they're like, yeah, you're right. There's all these different theories, and we actually don't know these parts and those parts, and you get a really interesting conversation. But when you talk to someone outside that field, they're like, well, I believe this is all correct, and I believe all this stuff. They don't understand the nuances of the field. They never looked into it, and they don't have interest to look into it. They think like it's enough just to have faith in someone, and the consensus belief, the supposed majority belief that's publicized. This is the same way that Project Mockingbird controlled the population by controlling what you see, what's the thing that you're taught, and so of course the majority is going to believe X when they're taught X. That doesn't mean X is true. X needs to conform to actual reality.
I mean, what's shocking is like, if we weren't in this topic, right, and we just started talking to these guys in some other chat, right? Like, yeah, man, everything on TV is bullshit. They'd be like, yeah, man, TV's fake. Everything, they just propaganda and bullshit. And then you go, well, you know, the Earth is flat. And you're like, what about pictures from space I saw on TV? Like 5 seconds later, they would contradict them their own position.
Yeah. You'd be like the government's always screwing us. They're like, yeah, I don't trust the government. Nothing the government says is true. And you're like, yeah, all the media is telling us lies. Yeah, the media is telling us lies. Yeah. But then you're like, the Earth is flat. Like, no, the media, the government is telling me the truth. It's crazy.
That's the one time. It's just crazy to me. Like, I mean, you'd think that, like, we've talked to so many people, and we ask them, how do you know the Earth's a globe? And like, you would think that after they're in here, right, for 5-10 minutes, and they're like, well, I don't know why they don't say to themselves, you know, this is really hard. I really can't think of any globe proof. The only thing I can think of is like the images they showed me on TV, and just my teacher showing me a toy globe in the corner, and just like space movies, and like, I got nothing. Right? You think that just that alone, the inability to prove it in like 2 minutes without pointing at the television set, would make them go, man, this something's wrong here.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold up.
Yeah, exactly, man.
The problem is...
It ain't right here.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is you got a bunch of these people who've gotten addicted to thinking they're intelligent through Google. And now it's morphing into thinking they're intelligent through parroting AI. And so you got all these midwit, half-wits, nitwits who want to be intelligent because that's a certain status in life. And so
it's a fad.
Yeah, so they start memorizing this garbage that they hear from other people. They don't understand how it works. They just know the words to repeat, and they think they win. Refraction, I win. Gravity, I win.
Yeah, I think of it like the Marlboro Man, right? People smoked Marlboros because they thought like it portrayed a certain image. I'm tough. I smoke Marlboros. I'm like cowboy. I'm like John Wayne. But it was just like an image fad. And the whole science suck up idea, right? I'm a nerd. That like they turned it into like this weird fad where you have people wanting to be seen as intellectuals, even though it ain't never gonna happen unless they get a brain transplant. You know, look, you know, I'm not gonna freaking, you know, I'm not built to play in the NFL. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. No matter how good I get at football, my body will not support an NFL career at any age I was. Not now, not in the past. No matter how big I got, it would not matter. I had to be like the craziest freak in nature. Okay, so I don't cry about it. But it's like me going, I want to identify as a football player and pretend I'm a football player and like run around like this is what these guys are. They're like pretend scientists. It's kind of freaky when you think about it. But it's easier to bluff intellectualism than it is to bluff being a freaking buff ass football player.
Yeah. Because there's a physical reality behind the big ass football player, whereas
yeah, and you can baffle them with bullshit, Drace. You know that.
Yeah.
You would try to come in here and just baffle us with bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't work on me because my dad used to do that all the time to everybody else, and so I saw that real time.
I'm baffled by the fact they think they can baffle us with bullshit. Right? What'd you say, bud?
I'm saying
Sorry.
like people here don't actually believe the Earth is flat, right?
No, we know it is. You do too.
Oh, so this is just like a troll channel?
No one's trolling. You're coping right now.
No, I just refuse to believe people
how do you
like that in 2026.
You refuse to? No, we refuse to believe. You see, you're the one with beliefs. We aren't. You're confused.
Right. That's why you're in the
Okay, so when did you see the Earth as a globe? When did you see the Earth as a globe in real life? When did you see the Earth as a globe? Yeah, see, here's more cope. You left.
Yeah, just proving our point.
I've never been that direct, but I might do that more often.
That was good. They don't realize the optics of how they're acting. They don't realize if anybody listens to our live stream, listens through these interactions, it's very easy to see. They come in with these preconceived ideas. They don't know what they're talking about, and they can't defend the globe, and it's so obvious to anyone with eyes or ears.
Man, the first time I heard about this, back in like April of 2023, man, somebody said Elon hit the firmament. And I immediately said, what? What are you talking about? I didn't get mad. I didn't call him stupid. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he gave me some information. I came back for more. I don't get the anger with these people. I don't get it.
Yeah, but that's a testament to your character. That's a testament to your intelligence of being open to exploring potentials, not being afraid of your beliefs being incorrect. The bigger your ego, the harder it is for you to actually accept that you're wrong, that you were wrong, that all the garbage that you told some guy was wrong. Like, I used to be so into space, I used to tell people all about space. And so it was very difficult for me. Like, I spent like 2 months reconciling with the Earth being flat and then trying to find evidence for the Earth being a globe, something to prove that the Earth was a globe. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized, oh shit, all of my beliefs are contingent on this faith in this other people who supposedly proved it in outer space, and I can't prove any of it. And so at that point I realized it has to be a belief for me, and I didn't like that position. So I was like, I need to look into this deeper, and that's where kind of my journey began.
Man, mine kind of began. I was watching, scrolling through YouTube, and came across this one channel that said the mountains are trees. And I'm like, this guy sounds crazy. Let me check it out. And I was like, if these things turn out to be trees, that's going to just piss me off. And I was like, he was showing stuff, and I was like, that's a rock, man. What are you looking at? That's a rock. Then he showed a close-up of some tree rings, and I was like, see, there's a tree. Then he panned out, and it's the side of the mountain. I was like, whoa. All right. Well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Flat Earth kind of gave the world. besides just being like it brings you back to logic, to empiricism, to actual basic natural science experiments. What can you actually prove? Not just infer and assume is true based on your preconceived ideas, because you can assume a different thing is true based on different preconceived ideas. And so that's kind of what Flat Earth did. It kind of stripped away all the assumptions, and people went like, well, then what is true? And so we got a bunch of people who went looking at history, who went looking at old architecture, and we got the mud flood conspiracy that was born out of this. The mountains are trees thing. Some of those ideas seem pretty compelling in that, like, some of those structures of some of those mountains look very similar to the structures of petrified trees. That doesn't mean it is, but it's a very interesting hypothesis. And Flat Earth kind of opened up the world to exploring outside ideas that weren't as cornered in or boxed in by the mainstream narrative. We don't endorse any specific other theory. We're just focused on the empirical and the things that we can verify and prove. It's interesting, though.
What's behind the ice wall?
What ice wall?
Another ice wall. It's infinite ice walls.
What's behind the
ice walls
wall?
all the way
Okay, I just
down,
had to
all
make
the way
sure.
up.
What's behind the
Bro,
ice
we're not
wall?
claiming ice
Who
walls.
said
That is someone
anybody
else.
believes in an ice wall? Only globe earthers believe in ice walls.
Yeah, in fact, the terminology of ice wall came from globers, talking about the coastline of Antarctica.
I gotta find more ice walls.
It was called the Great Ice Barrier. That's what it used to be called. It was on all the old maps. Yeah, it doesn't come from us. It comes from you clowns. So if you want to know why, ask a glober why there's an ice wall.
I gotta get
See,
behind.
the flat earth you guys make up in your head, we don't believe in that flat earth either. So you guys say, oh, flat earth, it must mean this, it must mean that, it must mean the other thing. You make up a flat earth in your head. You try to take a flat earth and stick it in the heliocentric model and go, this don't fit. No shit, Sherlock. Square pegs don't fit in round holes. Thanks.
You should
So
look up
there is more
Admiral,
ice walls.
look up Admiral Byrd.
Eric Dubé told me there's an ice wall.
Was he the top or the bottom?
What? I don't know.
Well,
don't
maybe
know?
you should bring it up
You were a little
with him,
drunk.
maybe.
Listen, I have not listened to a word of what Eric Dubé. None of us have. We don't listen to Eric Dubé. Why are you bringing him up?
He's your king. He's #1 on YouTube.
What? I thought that was PewDiePie or somebody.
I said he's your flat earth daddy.
Nobody
sorry
even
to
knows
break
who he
your
is.
bubble.
You're just trying to guilt by association. It's weak.
Yeah, we are not a cult following like you. You come from a cult. We used to be in your cult, so we understand and sympathize with you. But we are not a cult, and we do not have a cult leader. Eric Dubé has nothing to do with us. This channel. He's never even been in this channel.
So here's the funny thing. You revealed your own psychology, Mansky. The way you think about the world is what you think is knowledge comes from somebody else and it's given to you. And then you parrot it. You said, that person said such and such. I'll parrot that. That's not how we think. That's how you think. So we don't we don't take Eric Dubé and go, oh, I'll parrot what Eric Dubé says. Don't know what Eric Dubé says. Don't give a shit.
So just to restate what you just said, there is more ice walls.
I was kidding, dude.
I said margaritas.
I don't believe in an ice wall of any kind. Unless you think a fucking glacier is ice. Or a wall.
Yeah, how do you define a wall? Is a cliff a wall?
There's definitely some sort of something made of ice.
Yeah, there's glaciers and cliffs at the coastline of Antarctica, and that was referred to as ice walls. That does not mean that we claim that. So attribute that to us is insane.
Well, all I know is there's one guy, Captain Cook, whose specific purpose of his voyage was to find a way through the fucking ice and find an inland route into what they said was a continent. He tried to sail around looking and looking and looking for a way through the ice. And he sailed 60,000 fucking miles.
Over 3 years.
Didn't find out, over 3 years, and didn't find a way in. Okay? Now, the circumference of Antarctica is only supposed to be 14,000 miles. Well, the Antarctic race, the actual fucking coast is actually shorter than that. 60,000 miles is 2+ times the size they say the circumference of the Earth is. So how the fuck did he travel that far? How
3
come the
years.
bendy Antarctic so they have two races. They have a race in Antarctica. The fastest boat in the world, sailboat, they sailed around Antarctica. It took 73 days. It took them the same boat with the same crew. It took them the same amount of time to quote unquote circumnavigate the globe. 73 days. It took the solo record for the Antarctica. Basically, if you do the calculation of them traveling the only 14,000 miles, they would have only been going 6 knots in a carbon fiber racing yacht, which is infeasible, right? You couldn't go that slow if you dragged anchor, okay?
Well,
because
math is
because down there it's called the screaming 60s, right? So there's a gale force wind, meaning the 60th parallel. There's a constant gale force wind of like 30 knots, constantly.
Well, math is a fake concept, but like the ice
Math is a fake. What does that even mean? What's a fake concept?
So like
2 plus 2 equals 4 is a fake concept, guys.
There's no such thing as a fake concept. It's not even. That doesn't even make sense.
You got to give him some time to warm up his brain.
Okay, so if you say this is a concept, as soon as you say that word, it's no longer fake. So you can't even say fake concept for it to even mean anything.
No, will you say unicorn is fake? Well,
tell us the definition of concept.
Well, what do you mean fake?
Yeah, well,
they don't exist. They're not fake or not real. They don't exist.
No, but like you can have a mental construct of a unicorn. You know, just like how you can have mental construct of a number.
It's a real concept.
Have you ever seen number 1 in the nature? No, you made that number up.
I didn't make the number up. It's a representation of
it.
I made it up personally. So the number 1 didn't exist before I.
No, someone else made up the number 1, and you inherit
they made up a word.
Right? Yeah, so it's a made up number. It's a concept. It's an abstract. It's unreal.
Yeah, I know. It's a transcendental category. Yeah, I agree with it. It exists though. Just not. It doesn't exist in the physical world.
Well,
but do you know what does? The ice wall.
It's not a mental construct because mathematics would exist, and the rules that apply to mathematics exist independent of the human mind.
The ice wall exists independent of the human mind, bro.
Your trolling is going to exist somewhere else.
Oh! It's not trolling, bro.
Why are you fascinated with the ice wall, dude?
Wait, but if you think about it, it's a false concept.
True.
Yeah, you guys are fucking...
No, we're making fun of you.
You guys are 30 IQ points away from being a midwit in the negative direction.
Is that a physical or metaphysical concept?
Or metaphysical concept.
That's crazy. Chat, is this real?
Dude, this is the most low IQ sped
Got this
bullshit.
nonchalant
And that's
astrophysicist
crazy
in
because
here.
I'm in the
You're
flat earth.
just dumb, dude. You guys can't have. It's beyond you to have any type of conversation that doesn't involve grunting and groaning. Why don't you say Google Gaga? Did you drag your knuckles over to the fucking computer screen? Like Jesus Christ, man. Have some
Sorry, I
pride.
got
Have some
homophobic
freaking
ears. Can you say that
self-respect.
again?
Just have some self-respect, man. Have some self-respect.
Have some self-respect.
You're a freaking human. You're an adult male. You're acting like a fucking child.
Fucking child. What are we talking about? Hey guys,
You
can I
what?
talk to you about something? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You just did.
But I want to talk more though.
Okay, what would you like to say?
I just did this this ADHD test where they show
Yeah,
like
it's not topic. It's not the topic. Get on topic, dude. Want to try again?
I do want to try again. Okay, so.
Hey, that's not the topic. You
But
and your
sorry, I
butt buddy.
know.
You and your butt buddy. You're not original. Not even mildly entertaining. You guys
Niggers.
are like amateur chills. Oh my god, he said the N-word. Oh my
Said
god,
that?
I'm gonna faint.
Who said
So
that?
dumb. You know we record this and I'm gonna see that you said that and then report you on the server and then your account's gonna get fucking banned. Why would you do that?
Why would he do that?
Because he's dumb.
He's so dumb.
It says YouTube bot right there, 24/7 live. That means this is recorded. I'm gonna see his name pop up and say the N-word, and then I'm gonna report him to the server mod team, and then he's gonna get his account kicked off this server, just so he can appear fucking. I'm an edgelord. I said the N-word. It's so stupid. Like, dude, like seriously, grow up. Like, whatever happened to self-respecting, like being a man?
I mean, it's the best thing the Globers got. They don't actually have any arguments, and we've gone through that 1,000 times. It's
I don't even know
just
if these guys
logical
are at the level of a Glober.
fallacies. And so, if they're not intelligent enough to actually construct a logical fallacy, all they have is the N-word.
I mean, I have a lot more than the N-word. I mean, I have like the F-word, the K-word. I'm sure there's.
Yeah, I'm an N-word enjoyer myself, but I keep myself.
Oh, you guys just learned how to swear this week? Aw, that's cute. Fuck, dude.
I keep it PG for the flat earthers.
He called me cute. That's a great. I love that.
I am curious what the K word is.
I don't. DM me, okay? DM me.
This is bottom barrel trolling right here, man. This is just weak.
This isn't even trolling.
fun?
This is
Why
them.
can't we just
Like,
have
this
fun?
is actually. Look, bro. If they were in a DM in a private call, they'd be talking like this because this is actually isn't trolling. This is their level.
That is the most insightful thing I've ever heard your kind ever say.
Your kind? What does that mean? What's my kind?
My legal counsel has advised me to not answer that.
The way these people think is
What is
sad,
my
man.
kind? You think my PFP is me?
You flurfers. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, fluffer. Yeah, good save, buddy.
Well, it's better than being fluffers like you two.
Fluffers.
You know what a fluffer is?
I don't. Tell me.
Google it.
Don't tell him.
I don't
That's
tell
when
me.
you take a flare and you fluff the penis.
Let's see if he has
Get
the
it
ability
hard.
to think for himself and do some actual research.
Hey, Mr. Nate, I'm actually going to detain you if you don't change your name.
That's such a legendary name, dude. That's my username on Rainbow Six Siege.
So is this all of you?
Is anyone
there
else
another
here?
one? Because I wanted to get you all at once.
Is anyone else here familiar
any
with
more?
the Big Slam?
Yeah, I guess that's all you, all six of you, whatever it is.
You get 5 booms for that. Boom, 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 boom.
Where's the other one? Masky, is this your crew, dude? Because you've been in here before. You should know better.
I don't have a crew.
No, the topic is
you're
flat
all
Earth,
alone.
not your fucking, pet projects or whatever it is you're doing for your homework this week. You can engage the topic or you can keep acting like dunces. We don't need a case for flat Earth. That problem has already been solved. It's measured flat. We're just informing you. We're hipping you to what the situation is. This debate was won. You guys just haven't heard about it yet. This debate's already over. It's been over for like 4 years.
You're like 10 years too late to this debate, and like 4 or 5 years too late to actually try.
Okay, really simple. So I debated a guy with a PhD in mathematical physics that debates flat earthers all over the internet. He's got millions of fucking subs and followers and all that shit. You know what his argument again eventually became because he couldn't prove the globe? That nobody can prove anything, and I can't even prove that I don't have hands and I could be a brain in a jar. This is a professor at a university that teaches physics and mathematics, has a PhD in mathematical physics. When it came time for him to present globe proof, he said, I could be a brain in a jar. These are the people that you guys rely on, that you think have the proof that the earth is a ball. These are the people. But when pressed and they actually have to present the evidence, they've got shit. We've got all the evidence. And we're just here to tell you that and maybe rub it in a little bit.
And the funny part is, like, most of the educated people or the semi-educated people end up in that place. They're a brain in a jar. Nothing can be proven, because that's the only way to ignore our position, because our position is empirical.
It looks like one of my underlings wants to debate you, Martins.
Your underlings?
I doubt any of them could even still man their own position.
Oh my God. That's so messed up, but you're probably right. That's so funny. Yeah, we don't believe in that flat earth ham. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Remind Martins is not my underling. He's a flat earther.
Yeah, I doubt it. Why does he want to do? What's he going to debate then? I know what underling means. I probably knew what it meant before you were born. What is he going to debate then if he's a flat earther?
I don't know, man.
I entertain this. You bored? Anybody bored?
He's gonna debate himself, bro.
He's gonna debate himself in the chat. Think he'll win? He'll still lose.
Yeah, he'll still lose.
Okay, Martins, what do you want to debate? Get some tips from your friends in the DM.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, Rich Evans, amazing. The lowest of the low. Oh, anyway, carry on. You said you wanted to debate. What do you want to debate if you're a flat earther? You're a flat earther, though.
I am.
You are? Okay, give me, what's the best evidence for the earth being flat?
Well, you can see a curvature at 120,000 feet, or 60,000 feet. Weather balloons double that height at 120,000 feet. Still no curve.
You can see curvature, or you can't?
You can see curvature at 60,000, but weather balloons go twice that height. The horizon's still at eye level and flat.
You're contradicting yourself, dude. You can or you can't. If you could see curvature at 60,000 feet, then wouldn't it be a ball?
That's what I'm saying. That's what NASA says.
I don't think NASA takes a position on how high you can see curvature.
They do. They say you could measure curvature at 60,000.
You can't measure curvature at 60,000, dude. Who told you that?
Yeah, Yeah,
I don't
please
think you
cite.
understand my position. I'm
I don't
trying
think you
to
understand your
steal
own
man's
position.
letters.
You're fantastic, frickin' Brian. You called it.
Is this the part where
Please
you beat me?
cite where
This
you're
is like no
getting this
debate.
information from. If it's NASA, supposedly, please cite that information
Yeah,
so
we
we can
want to
look
see
at
the
it.
source that says you can see curvature.
Trying to go against what NASA says.
No, we don't know that NASA says that. We want you to show us that NASA says that.
Here, I'll just fucking tag it.
It better not be ChatGPT either.
It's always ChatGPT, Indio. You know that.
God, at least they could use Gemini. Sometimes it's Grok, which Grok is the goddamn worst.
Yeah, ChatGPT is a little bit better because I've been training it. I've never lost an argument with an AI, and
Why are you asking me why it matters? It's his fucking argument. This isn't about whether NASA's truthful or not. It's about whether they said it. We're not testing the veracity of the claim. We're testing whether the claim exists at all, dude. You people are fucking stupid. Like, I can't even believe how stupid some of you people are.
Okay. So, on this link that I sent you, you scroll down to a paragraph. It says, on November 11th, 1935, the pair took off from the Stratobowl, blah, 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 and ascend the world record altitude of 72,000 feet. The photograph showed the troposphere stratosphere boundary and the actual curvature of the Earth. So, like, let's round it off at around 60, right? Just to appeal to what they want, what they prefer is the truth. What I'm saying is
round it up to 60. Are we rounding up or rounding down? Where are we rounding?
Sure, round down. Yeah, let's round it to 60, just to appeal to their, preference of truth.
So they didn't say that.
Yeah, it says 72,395 feet. So that's where you could see a curvature in this specific.
So you're only
photo,
off by 20%.
Right?
Fantastic.
And rounding down would be about 70.
Sure. But what I'm saying is, weather balloons go to 120,000 feet.
But I don't see the curve of the Earth in this photo, though. It just says it's a photograph showing laterally the curvature of the Earth, but I don't see the curvature of the Earth in this photo.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you see curvature.
He's trying to make the argument, though.
That's because you say, well, yeah, I guess his argument's they said it.
He's saying you can go higher in a weather balloon, yet you don't see curvature. Is that what you're trying to say, bro?
Yeah, I'm saying that weather balloons can go double that height
and don't see curvature.
I have footage that it doesn't. Like, it's still at eye level and it's flat. Right, that's
even the Chinese space station claims that the horizon is flat 280 miles up.
Yeah, so this is what this is the point of contention. Actually, is that's actually a globe earther claim, even though it's on NASA's website. That's probably just made. That website is probably made by some stupid fucking intern that didn't know what they were posting. Because if you actually do the mathematics of what it should look like, you couldn't see any up and down curvature because the horizon is equidistant in all directions. So how can it appear higher or lower? Anywhere. We see things in angles, right? So the dip angle between me and any point on the horizon is one value. It's 10 degrees if it's anywhere on the horizon. So if it's in the image, the second pixel from the right, or the third pixel from the right, or the 20th pixel from the left, it's only going to have one fucking angle. Say 6 degrees all the way across. That means it's just going to be a flat fucking strip all the way across the image. Now, all I'm saying is what a globe earther would say is, no, NASA don't say that. You can't. So that is not evidence that the Earth is not a globe. If you see no curve from 120,000 feet, they'll say the globe predicts that.
What do you mean by what do you mean the globe?
They'll say that is a prediction of the globe, that you can't see curvature until if you actually do the math, it's something like 1,000 miles elevation, altitude. So what they'll say is so what they'll say is like the Chinese space station Drace just posted. They'll just say, "Oh, you weren't high enough. See the curve. You got to be higher." And now it just depends on how hardcore the glober is. But we've heard all sorts of shit. Like fucking, they said a fisheye lens fucking makes curved lines straight, dude. They'll say anything. And just looking at something is not really dispositive, right? Okay. So we can look at railroad tracks. Looks like they converge. We can't say, hey, they converge because they look like they converge. The visual information is just like it gives you like a gross generalization starting point. Because the Earth looks flat. That doesn't mean it is. It's a good indicator, but that's not proof.
Wait, it's not flat?
No, looking flat does not necessarily
it's not
mean
proof.
it is flat.
It's just optical. Yeah.
It's not proof. It's evidence. And it's a starting point, right? So the starting point is, what does the Earth look like at a naive first glance, right? Let's say we want to construct what the Earth is from the beginning, from first principles. Okay, go down to the ocean.
Yeah.
How does the Earth look? Looks flat. So that's a starting point. That's all the information we have. Looks flat. Can we gather more information to figure out if it actually is flat? Well, we can measure that, see if it actually is. Yeah, and when you measure that, it actually is. See, just looking, while informative, doesn't necessarily tell the whole story, because vision, there's a reason we make blueprints and, diagrams and things like that when we build things, is because we can't tell absolute sizes and distances just from looking at things. Like you look at the sun, the only thing you can't see, it doesn't say on it 93 million miles. It says angular size, 1.52 degrees. That's all you can say.
Yeah. I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think, without picking a side, could you visualize the heliocentric model and the geocentric model separately?
You can't visualize. Well, are you assuming all the same sizes and distances?
No, I'm saying personally, can you like whatever the globe heads think?
Yeah, so okay, to scale?
Well, like it doesn't matter
Visualize
if it's
it to
to scale, like
because
no, like rationalize it, like understand it, visualize
I understand the globe better than any globe earther alive.
I don't really understand your question. Are you saying can we differentiate between the two models?
This is another thing. This is another thing. All you're revealing is that you think something about us. You think we don't believe in the globe Earth because we don't understand it. No, we do fucking understand it. That's why we don't believe it.
No, I think most people do because that's what they've been told their whole life. If you grew up in America,
They don't understand it. They have no idea. They have no fucking clue. They've never looked into any of the shit.
Well, yeah, I do understand that. I know that talking to globe heads and you try to introduce them to the geocentric model, they can't really like visualize it properly. So like I kind of have to like explain to them how I see the world.
Wait, what do you mean, dude? It's literally kinematically equivalent.
Yeah, there's no.
It is equivalent. It just how like the seasons change apparently to the globe heads. It's due to the tilt. Well, you can explain seasons change in the Earth model. Just how the trajectory of the sun it moves in latitude as it circumnavigates.
But those are the same thing. Okay,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the same. It's the same thing. Seasons in and of themselves only denote because there's. So what you're talking about, you have to differentiate these things because it's like a lot of this stuff has very sloppy terminology. So seasons, there's two types. There's astronomical, meaning the equinox, the solstices. Those are astronomical seasons. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's also the meteorological seasons, which are the changes in weather, temperature, wind, water temperature, all those things, which also happen. They correlate to the astronomical seasons, but they're not exactly following them. So it depends on where you live. It depends on the local geography. It depends on the local climate. There's a lot of other factors that determine the changes in meteorology locally. Now, they correlate with day length, right? So the longer the day is, the more the sun's up, temperature changes, yada, yada, yada. And there's some lag that happens with the local meteorological changes. But when they say tilt of the Earth, they're talking about the sun, right, reaching some maximum point in the sky, or in the celestial sphere. The ecliptic has like a maximum point, and then in the coordinate system, and then they're saying because it's not aligned with the celestial equator, the motion of the stars, the sun's motion is different than the motion of the stars. It's different by 27 degrees. Now but you're observing the sun different.
Yeah.
You know, you're on Earth. You're looking up at the star. You're seeing the sun. If you track the sun across the celestial sphere, it will maximize off as 23.6 degrees. But you're not seeing any tilt of the Earth. You're not seeing any fucking orbit. You're not seeing any of those things.
No, exactly. It just moves an angle of 23.4. That's you can actually see that on the analemma. It's like the trajectory of the like the ecliptic over each month, you know.
Well, the analemma's funny. I don't want to get way into that, but it's
I don't want
funny.
to
There's
spell
more
that
to it.
out.
There's more to it than meets the eye. It's asymmetric, in case you haven't noticed. It's not.
Are you looking for like?
Yeah, it's
sorry.
asymmetric. Yeah, because it depends. Also,
asymmetric
depends where you stand.
asymmetric in space and asymmetric in time.
Oh, so you
So
presume
if you
there's
look
a
at the
distance?
months, how they're in the figure 8 are asymmetric.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I can see how the months are also correlated to that as well. But you can see how, like, when the sun's closer to the horizon, you could tell, like, that would be presumably December because technically it is a little bit further away. If you were standing in the northern latitude, for example, if it's close to the horizon at that same time of day and each month, then it would be December. But if it's like further, it was like ahead, further away from the horizon, that would be the solstice, for example, like the summer solstice. Whereas like the bottom of that number, that figure 8, it would be the winter solstice. Just because of how the sun's trajectory moves, apparently, right?
Yeah. I mean, so this is really the crux of all these issues when it comes to things like this. It's the coordinate system. Where's the origin of coordinates? And when we talk about the celestial sphere, the origin of coordinates is your eyeball. Yeah, your eyeball. It's not the center of the Earth. It's actually your eyeball. And where
Observer centric? No way.
Yeah, amazing. Imagine that, right? Imagine that reality is actually observer centric.
Holy crap! You don't say.
Well, that whole system, like the azimuth system, like using a distance and bearing, you could sort of translate that over to a coordinate system.
That system
Exactly,
uses a hemisphere, right? So you're on the ground plane. That's the horizon, and you got azimuth and solar elevation angle, right? But to use this system, though, you need to get the azimuth, you need the time, and then to get the solar elevation, you also need the time for that too. But to get your latitude, you need how high is the celestial equator in the sky. If you know where that is, then you know your latitude. Right?
Yeah, you gotta use
they're the same
stars and
thing.
the
It's
angles.
but people conflate the thing. They think that somehow having a latitude means you're at a place on Earth that is just like relative has like some relative proportion to all these other places on Earth. No one's ever actually demonstrated that. All you know is see the frickin' I see the celestial equator at 45 degrees. I'm at 45 degrees latitude. Really don't matter where the fuck you're standing. It only matters where it is in the sky. And if you know you're there and you know the date, you know where the sun's going to be. Relative to that fucking point, relative to that fucking celestial equator. You could be on the back of a fucking turtle. You could be flying on the back of a bird. You could be standing on your head. Doesn't matter what you're on because the model is observer-centric. It starts at your eyeball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
So
Shane just did a presentation on that tonight, literally, on the terrestrial and celestial sphere model being conjoined into one, and that's what they call the WGS 84. Essentially,
So would you draw a correlation that 23.4.6, right? Like where the sun goes. Does that also? Do you think the zenith, like, is the sun the zenith of that 23.7 latitude celestials from the celestial equator? You know.
Now, there's a see. This is where we get into like a problem with their model. Is there's like a discrepancy. I'm gonna brag. I discovered it. Well, I mean, kind of. If you look at the equinox, so on the equator, when you're on the equator, right? How do you even know when you're on the equator, right? So, if you're on the equator, on the equinox, right? Sun will rise due east and set due west, right? Correct?
Yeah, it rises in the east and sets in the west.
Yeah, takes a straight line across the sky. Okay. Well, if you're on the equator, that means that day, the time the sun's up to when it goes down, that should be the shortest day of the year. Because the arc the sun takes there is no arc, it's a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's like a week later. The sun is going to be, say, north a little bit. And that's going to have an arc to it, right? It's not going to be a straight line, so it's going to take a longer amount of time to cross that, so the day is going to be longer.
Yeah, that would be until it reaches the solstice, then it comes back.
Exactly, and that would be the longest day of the year on the equator, and then it starts coming back, right? And how you can tell, right? So when you should be able to tell when the equinox exactly is by timing sunrise to sunset on the equinox and just time it day after day after day. And when the days, they get shorter and shorter and shorter, right? On the equinox, it'll be the shortest day. And then when the days get longer again, right? You know it went to the other side, right? The southern hemisphere. It crossed over your head and went to the southern hemisphere, and days are getting longer again. Well, that fucking shit don't happen.
Well, that's if you're standing at the equator.
That shit don't happen, dude. In the real world, that don't happen.
No, it doesn't. But like, so that's the thing.
If you go on time and date, the shortest day of the year on the equinox. Same with sun calc. The shortest day of the year is not on the equinox. It's in April.
No.
It's in April.
Yeah, because we're depends where you are, right?
No, I'm talking about on the equator.
On the equator, it's April. Well, yeah, wouldn't that be the equinox?
It should be, but it's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It should be, but it's not. And then on the vernal equinox, which is the September one, should be the September one, the shortest day of the year is August. It's like August 21st.
So isn't that just perception?
Listen. This is why the analemma is asymmetric. Because those 2 days, those shortest days a year, that is when the fucking sun is in where the analemma crosses over. Where it's the center of the figure 8.
Yeah.
When it's that day, the sun is in that center of the figure 8, and that's the shortest day of the year on the equator. Though it's a month late or a month early, depending on how you look at it. Now, tell a globetard this, they'll sit there, the globe model works perfectly. Yeah, until you look closer. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. It's good enough for practical purposes. That's it. If there even is such
So,
a
so
thing as a
where do
low
you think
puddle.
on Earth? Like, there's got to be a place on Earth
I don't believe there's
where
an
it's
equator.
actually the shortest day. Like,
Yeah,
it changes, right?
Look, all I know is like, hey, I want to find the equator. Oh, let's go find the place with the shortest day that there is. I mean, it might take you a while if you did a brute force trial and error, but there is no such place because the Earth's not a fucking ball.
Yeah. Well, I honestly I thought it was because of the precession of the equinox, which changes over time. So at first, when the calendar
Yeah, but
was
that's like a
set,
26,000 year cycle, and whether that even happens is in dispute. I hate to tell you.
I mean, it's a noticeable change. Like for example,
Well, they
the
built a
Aries.
temple in the
notice
16.
it, bro? What
They
are you
built a
talking about?
temple in the 1600s so that the sun shines through this hole in the equinox, and it's still shining through that hole.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
Well,
ton
I
of
mean,
those, by the way.
the point
Equinox
of Aries,
precess.
right?
If the equinox precesses, why don't the planets precess?
I'm saying like there's like a little bit of change, which is measurable, which is like
You're just
Aries.
saying that, dude.
You know,
You
like
keep
Aries,
saying
like
it.
you know the star of
Gotta be
Aries, like
measurable.
the
They told me that.
constellation. You know the constellation Aries,
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
cusp
So
of
the
Aries.
sun. So what the precession of the equinox is the sun. Where the sun rises, it's going to rise in a constellation, right? And those constellations slowly precess around the sunrise over a period of, I don't know, the great years, like 26,000 years or something. Maybe it's
Yeah.
12,000. It's one of the two. So the sun should be rising in a different place against the background stars. It should be rising in different background stars. But they've built temples where the sun just rises relative to the temple in the exact same fucking place.
I would say
And
there's a slight change. There's a little bit. I mean, it's still there. It's still at the right place. Maybe just like inches or
hundreds
a
of
whole
years.
foot off. Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. Like
You're
you
just
can even
guessing.
measure it.
You're guessing now. You
Well,
could
like you
measure it.
said,
Has anybody?
yes.
Because I have a published paper on it. On whether the precession. Because here's the other problem with the precession of the equinox: the planets should precess as well. If the Earth was wobbling, the planets would precess.
Well, you can have an explanation on the flat Earth model
Why
for
don't
the
the
precession
planets
as well.
precess against the background stars?
I would say it's because of the sun's movement, not the stars, because the stars have always been there.
Well, I'm talking about in the globe model. Why don't the planets, the solar
know.
system, precess?
I think they're trying to say that the stars precess just because that there is a Earth wobble, right? But for us,
Yeah.
it's relative to the sun because it lines up to where the sun rises, as you said, right? And if it's just a few degrees of an angle off over, it's supposed to be 26,000 years for it to just make a full wobble, right? Which means going all around, right?
Yeah.
Then yeah, it would take 26,000 years, but it's only been what, like 2,000, right? So just like a tenth of that, or a 12th, 13th of that. There should be like a 13th of 365 that it has like changed, right? Or 360 degrees, a 13th of 360 degrees where Aries has moved relative to where the sun would rise at that point. So Aries used to be in January, but now it's in March, like the cusp of Aries. Which I would say that it's because of the sun. So we're relatively comparing the star system to the sun. Therefore, the sun probably moves, which also explains the analemma as well, and the
The
days.
sun
Like
precesses.
sort of, yeah, I'd
I
say
mean,
so.
all the stuff's interesting, but quite honestly,
Yeah,
it's academic. You're never gonna know. You can come up with dozens of models for how the planets behave and move. Because I just come to my head like Tycho Brahe has a model which does all this stuff and predicts all this stuff, and he's got the sun and the moon are orbiting the Earth, and then all the planets, the sun and the planets orbit the sun but the sun and the moon orbit the Earth. That's in that model, which also works, technically works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right,
I
but we
could
can sit
easily
here and come up with
visualize it.
models all day. I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like we're just like I mean, I'll just the easiest.
Yeah, I like how it's like an ideal pool that continuously grows. It doesn't. It adapts, right? It's not like one thing that's stable. That's stagnant, right? It changes with the times.
Look, let me read what Copernicus wrote because people were smart back then. They didn't lie to themselves like we lie to ourselves now. He said, "For it's the duty of an astronomer to compose the history of the celestial motions through careful and expert study. Okay, then he must conceive and devise the causes of such motions or hypothesize about them. Since he cannot in any way attain to the true causes, he will adopt whatever suppositions enable him to enable the motions to be computed correctly from the principles of geometry for the future as well as the past. The present author has performed both these duties excellently, for these hypotheses need not be true nor even probable." What they're saying is that they're going to make a model based upon some fucking made up idea in their head. Okay? And it doesn't matter about the made up idea. It only matters that if the geometry they use makes an accurate prediction. It's a purely pragmatic viewpoint with no philosophical underpinnings about whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
Meaning the concept. So I'll give you an example. James Clerk Maxwell came up with the current theory we use of electricity and magnetism. The entire mathematical formalism was based upon a mechanical model of the ether. Now, nobody believes the ether is real anymore. But his mechanical model is what's still in use. It's still, the mathematics are still in use today. And he thought there was like little balls rolling against each other or something, and it's fucking some rarefied fucking ether gas or something. It's unclear exactly what he thought the substance was, but he modeled it. He made he modeled it as a physical mechanical model, just like the same way you would model like a grandfather clock or something. Okay. Now, it would be justified to take the same philosophical position as they currently take, well, people that come in here and argue with us, that because the model makes accurate predictions, it's physically real in the physical world. Such as, we use a globe to predict where the planets are, so the Earth must be a globe. But even in Copernicus' day, they said that doesn't matter. We're just using geometric concepts and adopting freaking hypothesis, and they need not be true or even probable because they don't care about that, because what they were trying to do was astrology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they didn't care the reason. They weren't trying to look for an ultimate truth. They were just trying to look, hey, fucking, I wonder where Mars is tomorrow. How do I do that? Oh, it's going up with these mathematics. Oh, shit, that works. Then some retard come and said, that's real. And now they're in this chat talking shit, saying, the globe is real. Show me a globe Earth model. Oh, Google Earth. Google Earth's a cylinder. So what? Still looks like a globe. We just hear dumb shit. So the only point is, it's nice. You can reify a geocentric model. You can reify a heliocentric model. You can reify Tycho's model or any other model. But whether that model is the physical reality of the situation, that's another question altogether. So the lemma is interesting, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's some
Honestly,
clue there.
I
I don't know
that,
what
honestly.
it is.
I didn't know that the equinox at the equator was not the longest day.
Yeah, look on time and date,
or the
man.
shortest day.
Look, go down the time and date and look for the day that it changes, right? So you'll be able to see day length, right? and the days will get shorter. Like in the fucking in the spreadsheet table. So you look at the table, it's shorter, and then it'll start getting longer. The day it starts getting longer when it does the transition, that's the shortest day of the year. Right? Obviously, it goes down
You
and
mean
back
like the
up. So that's the
duration?
low point, right? That's the local minimum.
Are you saying like the duration of sunlight at the equator throughout the years?
Day length, meaning sunrise, sunset. Sunrise to sunset, how long the sun's up. Because the day length is based upon how long the sun is in the sky, right? And how long the sun is in the sky is based upon the arc that it takes through the sky. And the arc that it takes through the sky is the shortest on the equinox because it's a fucking straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make sense. Not my problem.
I've been finishing off that Lanolin versus McToon versus a bunch of other annoying anti-flat earthers. And you know who's even worse faith than McToon? That freaking PhD Tony guy. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is a freaking clown, absolute clown. I don't know how some of these grown men can conduct themselves like that, and in their own minds they think that they're crushing it or they're impressing people or something like that. Maybe they're impressing some other anti-flat earthers that are also degenerate trolls, but just the way they conduct themselves, it's obviously bad faith, right? It's obviously just generally just wrong the way they're talking to people. Right, just yelling and screaming and crying and strawmanning everything.
I was about to say strawmanning. It seems to be the only game they have.
Yeah, fallacies and feelings. I've been saying that for a while now. That's all the Globers have.
They pop up the azimuthal equidistant map and they try to stick you with it. And the problem is too many flat earthers are too happy to go along with it. All too happy. They've been representing this to their friends and their family.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
You know, like Josh basically came in here yesterday, and when he started plopping down the ISS tracks, comparing the globe coordinates with flat Earth, and when we pointed out that, well, the flat Earth coordinates he's using, there's still globe coordinates. He basically all but admitted, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. This doesn't work on you guys. This works on the dumb flat earthers and the other community."
Yeah, I actually messaged him that yesterday. I'm like, maybe you should go back to QOps server. You know, with this bullshit. You know, I'd already explained to him the previous day the same thing, that he was strawmanning us.
That's what other people were saying.
Yeah, and he came back the next day and did it again. Which is, yeah, it's put him on thin ice, that's for sure.
I know he must know this stuff. I know he must know the higher geometry and mathematics involved with coordinate reference systems and geometric concepts, topologies, and manifolds. I mean, he's an aerospace engineer. He understands the concepts of orbital mechanics. He understands maps and coordinates.
Well, I think that they handpick people like Josh. I think maybe he has a very good memory. Okay, he's very good at memorizing and regurgitating what he gets told to memorize and regurgitate. I don't know if he's that smart of a guy, right? His intelligence. And he seems kind of more like a salesman, right? That's what I'm getting. He's very good at repeating the glossary, right?
Salesman and manager. It makes sense. I mean, you can make up for your lack of processing power with good RAM.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the things he says are total bullshit. Like a lot of the things he says, they sound very technical. Like he was talking about X-rays the other day, and then I just looked it up. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I looked it up. I'm like, oh, you're completely wrong about that. Like, not only are you wrong, it's like the opposite of what you just claimed. And he's like, oh yeah, well, that's not my area of expertise, you know. So yeah, I admit I'm wrong about that. I can always admit when I'm wrong. I'm really honest. I'm like, but why did you say it with such confidence? You acted like you knew what you were talking about, but everything you were saying was complete horse shit. And he's like, yeah, it was. I was wrong, completely wrong. It's like, what were you just trying it on us or what? Like, you know, same with the Velcro thing, same with quite a lot of the things he says. And now it's got to the point where I think he's just a bullshit artist with a lot of the things he says.
I may have been wrong in my assessment yesterday when I said that I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Maybe he really doesn't in that case.
Yeah, he's like a PR guy. He's like memorized the glossary.
You know, his job title is something like science, communication and science or something.
Yeah, I've been talking to him for months. We all have in here, maybe a year now.
Yeah, he's a fraud. You ask him any hard questions and you get nothing.
I mean, he showed everybody his car, and he's got the license plate, custom vanity plate that says it's flat.
Yep. I saw that.
So yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. Like yesterday, he called me out by name, asking basically to talk to me after I was basically packing up for the night, incidentally. You know, maybe it's because I tagged him in here the other previous night when he dropped that that ISS orbit comparison between flat and globe Earth. And I just, when I responded and basically told him that he's strawmanning flat Earth by providing us a coordinate reference system that's still spherical, I was just reminding myself of the other like 10 conversations that I've had with him where he seemingly understood what we were talking about. And then wondering why it is he suddenly, like NPC reset, felt so confused. Like, so I question even his memory. Like maybe he can memorize and regurgitate academic stuff, but has he forgotten what our community talks about in here and what all the discussions we've had, personal one-on-one discussions too? There's something really weird going on.
Yeah, super weird. That's what I was thinking. It's just bizarre. The whole situation of him coming in here all the time, the way he acts, you know, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, like why at this point would you come in here and submit the azimuthal equidistant projection as a flat Earth?
He does the same thing that Jesse Path of Light does. He'll present something to someone like you or DJ, call bullshit. Y'all will call bullshit on it, or Indio. And then when they're not here, he'll present it again and see if he can't swindle somebody over that doesn't understand what they're looking at.
Since the first time I interacted with him, I thought he was an operative of some kind.
I mean, his profile picture says it all. He's a communicator.
I really don't think he is. I think he's genuine. We're seeing a similar psychological profile come through here of other people that deal with this topic in the same way. He's bothered by it.
He's got a few NPC installations, right? He's got the Matthew Learns kit. He's got the satellite upgrade kit. So yeah, he's just seems like a bit of an NPC to me. Just wanders around with different scripts and tries them on different flat earthers, and you know, it's like not like when he's not in here, he's off doing his job. When he's not in here, I'll check other voice chats, right? And he'll be in there in some other flat earth server.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is like how do you hold a professional high profile job and be inattentive and gone doing Discord for 10 hours, 12 hours a day? I mean, I've seen him I've seen him in other servers like a total of, a good 15, 16 hours. It's crazy.
Oh, I mean, he's in my view another Washington D.C. Beltway wonk. You get paid a lot of money for a lot of workplace flexibility with little oversight as long as you get your job done. His job is essentially business development. So this entails linking people together so that they can go bid on government contracts. And he has a fat Rolodex, so he can basically drive around running errands all day to IKEA, talking to us on Discord, and maybe check in with the office once in a while and still get paid.
Has he told you about his WEF connections?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Like, there are only a handful of real aerospace engineers, graduates of prestigious aerospace engineering programs. When you reach that status, I mean, the red carpet does get rolled out for you. And not just the graduate, being a graduate of such a program, but passing your engineering exams and then also being employed as such, which I believe he's been before. So, I mean, he's really part of an elite cadre of people. This is true. But what he's been able to demonstrate to us is that even someone of his status and, claimed connectedness in the industry, he is actually quite far removed from physical hands-on application with the technologies that he's representing. And this is not by far like an abnormal thing. This is quite the norm. We get people all the time who come in here who claim to be like satellite engineers or even satellite drivers. And then you start picking their story apart, asking them a few questions, and you scratch and find out, well, they're not the ones that actually do it, but they're in an industry with those who do, and they seem to know somebody who might actually do it, but they handle this other thing that's seemingly close to that exact work. And this is even assuming that somebody who's actually doing this work is actually in a capacity or position to know. They aren't necessarily either.
Well, I've got a friend that was a NASA rocket scientist. He was Air Force officer. I don't know his rank, but anyway, it's amazing how little he knows. I mean, there's certain things he knows really well, but they just had him figuring out how to put these things together. Didn't really know what was going on.
A great case in point is when Robert Bassano started going through phone directories and called the NASA's Hubble spaceflight program deputy director. And like 10 minutes into the conversation, we find out that the deputy director for the Hubble program has never seen raw feeds from Hubble itself.
Wow.
The question, of course, arises is how is it you are responsible for a program and you do not have direct access to the technology?
That's amazing.
Yep. But for him, I mean, this is just kind of normal. Why? Because everything is segregated. Everything is spread out on this massive topology, this network topology. So I think from his standpoint is I'm the program director. Why would I need to see this myself? There's some office below me somewhere that is receiving this data from another office. I tend to think that the people that might know something about this in this industry would have to have a crossover of a couple different kinds of skill sets or disciplines. One of them is probably going to be involved in cartography and mapping, understanding coordinate reference systems and the technologies it use. And the other is going to be somebody that same person potentially who has also been part of been working in like payload integration facilities for satellites. Basically, people who are at the last mile, last step for these things, and can link them together. So people who can watch the fairing close up on the second or third or whatever final stage of the payload, just hours before actual launch, and then understands that there's a direct link between that object, the rocket that it's hoisted on, the telemetry coming out of that rocket, and then going to a downlink where it's processed and then analyzed. And then understanding the nature of the mathematics behind how that telemetry data is processed into coordinate references for tracking. People like this over time might start to wonder about the arbitrary nature of coordinate reference systems, and if they've seen firsthand the actual package without any kind of balloon assembly attached to it, and they might wonder about potentially alternate explanations of the physics of an orbit, besides going around a ball and rotating meanwhile. And then you start digging into potential alternatives, including the electric universe idea. And then you start reading about how, yes, there are NASA scientists and affiliated scientists who fully buy into this and have chastised the simplistic gravitational mechanics that is often taught to people and is more conventionally understood with the technology involved in these things.
Well, and how do they account for the acceleration and deceleration phase in the satellite mechanics, telemetry data?
Yeah, acceleration and deceleration is handled with electrodynamics. It's explained that they basically go perpendicular to the magnetic fields.
Oh, okay, that's the explanation, huh?
Yeah, and they have coils that's wrapped around the outer frame of these things. It's basically creating a big like ionic sheath, and they can charge and discharge, change the polarity of the electron density across the sheath, across the surface, which interacts differently with the magnetic field that it's flowing through. So they're able to move this way and that way and this way and that way. And then, they publish their data. Like, you can find this if you go to NASA's technical report servers and type like electrodynamic propulsion. You can find their so-called experiments in the upper atmosphere going back to the 1970s, playing around with this stuff. And then you're like, well, what's the role of gravity? And then you read in these own papers, well, we believe, gravity is about 40 orders of magnitude weaker than the electrodynamic forces at work in this. In other words, we're not really accounting for it. We're dealing completely with an electric universe here. And in the same server, you find similar experiments where packages are brought up and slung into gravitational orbits using gravity wells. It's like, well, what's going on here? Which is it? And then you find the more conventional stuff. And in my view, maybe both of these are BS. You find the more conventional stuff involving balloons with long dwell times, like super pressure balloons. Yeah. And then you start to read further that maybe it's balloons, but also a combination of things. Not only just other high altitude craft, but potentially it's all ground-based antenna work. That the communications is done with ground-based antennas and can give the appearance of things that are flying across the sky in orbit. But then what are the lights? Well, who knows what the lights are? I mean, you can really go down this rabbit hole quick and find that they can actually produce artificial stars. And like, what? Yeah, they blast a high intensity beam somewhere way up high, and it like activates sodium molecules, and they start giving off light, and it looks like a star. And they can move it around. So what the hell is actually going on? I don't know. And I don't think anybody, for the most part, actually knows. I mean, there are going to be a handful of people, but they're going to have, it's not like they're going to have like a super mega top secret clearance to gain access to it. They're going to have the right combination of things to understand what's going on and what they're actually dealing with.
Could it be like dark? Well, what's the right term? Like a secretive, unknown government that's actually in the works behind the scenes. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on.
I don't know. I think a lot of this is propaganda. I think most people working at NASA believe that Earth is a globe too. I believe that there are probably people at NASA that are still trying to figure out secretly how to conduct an orbit with spacecraft, knowing that in reality it's never been done the way it's claimed. And that the number of people who are actually like in the know on this are probably very few, and they're probably not that influential. Right. When you look at what NASA's mission is, it's to project technological power, capabilities, achievements that may or may not exist. Right? You don't have to be like a secret flat earther working in the government to hide the nature of Earth from the public to do that. The NASA astronauts that went to the moon, they believe in a globe, and they probably camped out on Guam or something for a couple of weeks while the moon missions were underway. I mean, they were never high enough to see what the Earth is. So, I mean, when it comes to like conspiracy theories and ideations of this sort, I really sidestep it all and say no. I think, in my view, this situation is actually worse. It's worse than some kind of dark cabal that's like secretly in control. It's that nobody actually is in control, and this is a mass self-delusion, like an urban myth that got away. It means there's no one really to point the finger to.
It's possible, but like the technology that's in the skies, some of it, I mean, there's just so much of it that there's got to be some infrastructure supporting that. And yeah, it's pretty overwhelming. I see it specifically using night vision, and there's a lot of shit moving up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that the people actually using, building, launching, and steering it and maintaining it have all done so under the auspices of the heliocentric globe idea. And yet it somehow works when that's not the true nature of reality. That is like a fourth possibility in all this. That yes, you can take a piece of metal, put it on top of a rocket, and launch the rocket in a parabolic arc at 17,500 miles per hour, deploy it, and it will give the appearance of a global rotation. Why? Because maybe that's the way that you designed the telemetry feedback mechanisms in it to report. But physically, you don't really have any conducted actual measurements of what this thing's doing gyroscopically, so you have no rotational vector to actually report. And this is also a problem. Nobody's actually been able to report a rotational vector, which is necessary to conduct an orbit. So you have an object that's going in an orbital period of about 90 minutes, which means it's completing an orbital pass every 90 minutes, which means it's doing a somersault 360 degrees to maintain downward orientation to the surface of Earth every 90 minutes, which means that if this is happening, then certainly some gyro somewhere is able to measure that rotation. 360 degrees of rotation every 90 minutes. That information is missing. Nobody has ever produced it. Nobody can. We do get orbital calculations, but we don't have raw feedback at the gimbal. And the same goes for airplanes and boats and anything else that uses inertial navigation systems, including those big, massive ring laser gyros.
I was gonna ask the is that kind of like the black box pitch data in the flight recorders?
Yeah, we've done deep dives on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got presentations on this, and the fact of the matter is the pitch data that's being presented comes after it has been algorithmically and statistically smoothed. So you can't really use it to justify whether the Earth is flat or round either way, because this is not being recorded at the gimbal and presented to you. This is after it has been statistically modified. They claim that they have updated the horizontal reference plane at every continuous and instantaneous location. And so this is why they can present to you no deviation of pitch as the airplane moves. So what we want to get is the actual deviation before the pitch data is delivered, and then corrected, and then normalized. Because what they claim to do is to normalize the curvature of the Earth. So we want that unnormalized data, and we started digging into it to try and obtain it. We find out that it's protected by trade secrets and patents. It's protected by, even in some cases, national security.
Yeah.
And companies that have leaked or inadvertently leaked that data have been sued, compelled by the government to pay fines, as was in the case of either Honeywell or Boeing, forgot which. It's like an $80 million suit. So this data you'll never get. You will never have access to it.
Yeah, you probably know that story about the 777 pilot that I think he was in Texas, and he got a error code for that box that controls the I don't know the right term.
Air data inertial referencing at the ADIRU. Yeah, I know that story. I tried to pick up where he left off, and that's where I got.
That was interesting. On the satellite thing, so if I'm correct, if I understood right, they don't have any north-south circumpolar orbits, do they?
No, not exactly. They claim to get close.
Because I've watched them go absolute direct north, and I can't say south, but absolute direct north. I've observed them.
Maybe from your vantage point, but in total, they themselves claim that they can only get within, a few degrees of the actual north and south. And there's some historical reasons they claim for this. This is all by their accounts. Like in the 1960s and 70s, you can read about their attempts to conduct polar orbits. What they found was that the satellites would start initiating a tumbling phase whenever they'd go over the poles. First off, it gets cold, and second off, they said that their star trackers, their attitude trackers, were unable to distinguish the difference between the sky and the ground, which means that their gyros could not compensate for downward facing or nadir facing orientation as it orbits and has to rotate. And furthermore, that it would lose power because it's so cold.
But are you saying they're claiming that it's colder in outer space over the poles?
Yeah, exactly. It's colder over the poles, and the contrast between sky and ground are hard for the instruments to differentiate to maintain attitude. And the result is a loss of battery power. So what they started to do to compensate for this is in the 70s and into the 80s, they started to shut the satellites off. They say this, right? And then they wait, and say, okay, by now it should be done. It should be out of the danger zone. And then they have it fire back on again, turn on, power up the systems, and then reorient itself.